letter from someone, and I'd like to share that email with you, and then make a tie-in to what you've been discussing. Um, it's from Mr. Raoul, and he says, Dr. Martin, I recently came across your museum online through a news article. I am not sure if you are the person to discuss my discontent of your organization, but either way, you are my outlet for my discontent. I am not sure what your mission was back in 1983 when you founded the museum, but I think it has been accomplished. We have come a long way in race relations in this country, and I think by having separate race-related organizations only hurt our society. To have museums like this offends people and helps keep that separation between races. If there was a museum called Great Whites in Wax, it would be branded as racist and probably shut down. I think if you have a conscience, you should close your doors or combine your information/history with a museum that accepts all colors, because the only reason you are seen to be open is to make money off the color of your race.
And what'd you tell him in return? I know you had to come back on something on that.
My comment. Hello, Mr. Rao. I read with some interest and much puzzlement your email of July 30th, 2009. I was puzzled that you, who have probably never experienced a day of racism, feel somehow entitled to determine that America has reached an acceptable level of racism. I was left to wonder whether you had also sent emails to the Cherokee Museum, Native Voice Theater, Yeshiva University Museum, Chinese American National Museum and Learning Center, Women's History Museum, Wing Luke Asian Museum, and the various Holocaust museums located throughout the United States to demand that they or any of the thousands of race, ethnic, gender-specific museums in the nation close their doors, or whether you felt the need to accuse them of making money off of their color and or ethnicity or gender. I found it baffling that you somehow missed the significance and reality of centuries of great and not so great white men in bronze and wax and plaster of Paris. In Richmond, for example, we are treated to a long boulevard of great white men of the Confederacy, men who sought to destroy the United States of America, no less. Generation after generation of Americans visited and continue to visit museums filled with images and icons of and for white people. Simply by implication, we have presented with the dogma that white men on monuments are indeed monumental. Yet you would dismiss the message created through these symbols of power, elitism, and oppression, and would dare instead to equate such power and elitism with the effort of our little museum to preserve our heritage and to pass on to our children some sense of their people's role in the making and shaping of the world in which you and I live. I want to end so that we can talk. I shared with Mr. Rao 2 incidents, but I'm going to just mention one here. One day, a Japanese-American student stood patiently waiting for me to finish my conversation with her African-American classmates from a high school group visiting the museum. She then walked over to me and commented on her classmates' statements that they had never heard of lynching. She said, I have never heard of it either, but I have something that is a little bit more personal that concerns me right now. I just found out about Japanese-American internment during World War II. Up to a few weeks ago, I knew nothing about it, and the fact that no one, not my parents or grandparents, not my teachers, not my textbooks, has ever talked to me about this has caused me a lot of anguish. So, she says, I hear the questions my African-American classmates are asking you about an important part of their history. And I know the anguish I feel about not knowing this part of my past. And I ask myself, who makes these decisions about what history gets told and not told? In the very poignant, tear-filled moment that followed between us, I said to her, from now on, you and I must never give up the right to be a part of the decision-making process. So, Mr. Raoul, in honor of the promise I made to that young lady, and in memory of our visionary co-founder, my late husband, Dr. Elmer P. Martin, I will simply not allow you or anyone else to take me or our museum out of the process.
Dr. Joanne Martin, co-founder of the Great Blacks in Wax Museum. Wow.